Let's get some questions up. What y'all talk about in training today?
Diana. And
Why don't you all give an update on Diana from your alls, like where we're at, what we're going for?
So on Dirty Diana right now, we're building the motor, trying to get some stuff figured out on the frame, rear end. We got all of our train stuff ready to go. And then pretty much we're ready to hit the track at that point.
How long do you think until we got a truck on the road?
October.
You think it's October?
Definitely October. Be lucky to have it done by Dino Day, actually, I think.
I think that would be. I think if we could do an exhibition run on Dino Day, that would be cool.
I think that would be pretty reasonable to say Dino Day would be our day.
With all the fab work that has to be done.
Yeah. We still got to weld up, everything.
JT's thinking mid-August.
I'm thinking last weekend of August to get out.
Well, better get ready.
So Wade's not with us this week, guys. He's out. He's got some family medical stuff he's dealing with. So if you all would to take a second and send Wade your thoughts and prayers in the comments below. He normally watches this when he's not in. He'd probably really appreciate that. So
Definitely.
we got JT and Colin, Jimmy. Jimmy, is this your first one since you've been back? Jimmy went on a little hiatus. We call it an extended vacation around here. And then he came back to us. So Jimmy is back with us. He is vying to be the new JT on the sales floor. Is that an insult or a compliment?
Well, I trained him coming in, so I reckon comment, I don't know.
So we're ready to go, fellas. You got questions about your truck, put them in the comments below. We'll start answering some of them for you. I'm not sure if they're asking questions and I'm just not getting them or what.
10 for their old buddy. So when are you going to start tearing that axle apart, buffing it up, getting all the dents and crevices out of it?
I'm waiting on the boss to get back.
The person he's spinning. Alright, grid heater delete on a 5.9 common rail. Pros, cons, necessary, unnecessary.
Really kind of just depends where he's at.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And what's done to the truck at that point to me.
I mean, cutting it out of there or doing the block, I mean, you're going to increase airflow, which, I mean, doing that, I mean, it's not going to be a crazy amount as far as helping out. But again, where you're at, if you're, up on a mountain in Colorado or something where it gets cold in the wintertime, I'd probably leave it. But if you're down in the sandy beaches of Florida or something, take it off there and press the girls a little bit, that'd be just fine.
Yeah, because you're going to get about 5 more pounds of boost off of it when you eliminate it at that point anyhow.
Is an NV5600 transmission a good transmission? That's kind of a vague question.
Yeah, I feel like it anyways, just depending on what you're doing. Definitely coming from like my kind of background and everything, I like to throw as much power at it as I can, not break anything. NV56 being a cast housing, if you're truck pulling, dyno queening, whatever, you're really not going to break that transmission or go through it. Now, I mean, you get some jackwagon out here wants to hook to everything, in the world, I could see you might run into some issues there, but normally they're pretty good all-around transmission.
What are the weak points in them?
There's really not any that I can think of because it's not like the MV45 with a smaller input shaft. You've already got the bigger input shaft there.
There's no common failure anywhere.
Not really, no.
Synchronizers every now and again, but that's not it.
You learn how to drive, be like old Dylan Pritchard out here who can't drive. You will go through some synchronizers. Other than that, I'd say it's pretty good.
We might lose fifth gear every now
You
and then.
could, yeah. Pritchard.
Oh, smoking
guy.
So we got a new guy on the sales force, Greg.
We do have a new guy on the sales force. His name is Greg.
You can also call him George if you want to.
George, whatever you want to call him.
Wade, affectionately.
Redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, nicknamed him George. Do you know why he named him
I think just George because it's close to Greg, man.
I couldn't remember Greg.
Greg's light on his feet right now. He is full of questions. If you call in and get him, just give him a hard time. He drives like a rabbit or something. What's that thing called he drives? I think a Civic. It's a Civic, not a rabbit.
Civic?
I think it's a Honda Civic.
It might be.
One of those Jap things. it sounds terrible too.
Do me a favor, hand me my water over here, please, sir.
Sounds terrible.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
We are light on questions today. Either that or I'm just not refreshing. Sometimes it does it automatically, other times it makes me refresh it every time. So.
10-4 there, old buddy.
We'll try to fill some dead space here while we wait for more comments and stuff to pop up.
We still got quite a bit to buy for that thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about, what we've got left to do. Right now we're debating about whether or not to extend the frame on the rig. We did get a rear end in. That's pretty sweet. I'll put some pictures of it up probably tomorrow. That's what I was planning on. So
that's a lot more to add on there, too. Hubs, axles, full spool.
Can Jimmy show us the dance he did yesterday when we pulled up with the new axle?
Oh, yeah. I would really like to have some music or something in there, but I was up there like getting it. Just like the little kid on the Facebook video. But that's what I had.
Who asked for that?
Oh, Tyler.
Had to be Tyler.
It was Tyler. So that made me think.
You're welcome, Tyler.
We Jimmy can officially add modeling to his resume now.
I had a very prominent modeling career for about, 10 minutes the other day. I got some headshots in, some glamour shots.
Oh, with the t-shirts?
With the t-shirts. New Diesel Tip t-shirts, BT Dubs.
All the new Diesel
Check
Tip
them
shirts
out.
are up on the website. So if you've been looking at those and liking the new ones, including the one on today's, those are all up on the website. You can go get them.
Well, I've seen Maines, he has an anonymous lever now upstairs.
Oh, dude, I don't know.
We've got a question, guys. Is it okay to install a Smarty on an 05 stock NV5600?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wouldn't go crazy with it. If you're running level 4, something right around there, running stock fuel, you said it 6-speed, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, stock fuel, stock clutch, everything like that. You just got to be careful on it. You can't get out there and expect to put it on level 9 and everything just be fine and dandy, because you'll run into it and you'll see that that's not the case. But I mean, yeah, you can run it on there. Like I said, just be careful with it. Next things, if it's just a bone stock truck, I'd probably add some fuel to it, air dog fast, something along that lines, and then you're definitely going to want to add a clutch for sure. But other than that, roll on with it.
I haven't heard of this, so I'll ask it and see if you all are familiar with what he's asking. But anything with the 17250s yet, besides the Mexico ECM flash?
No idea.
Yeah.
You?
Only thing I think of is Easy Links.
Easy Links,
Easy
yeah.
Links.
I don't know what the Mexico ECM
I haven't
flash
heard
is.
of that. That's what I was wondering. And of course, everybody and their mom's calling me right now.
Who's that?
Clay.
Oh, hi, Clay.
Dang it, Clay.
I wonder if Chris will call us. We still take calls?
We do. If y'all want to turn the phone on, we'll take calls, and we'll give out a free T-shirt today to whoever the best caller is. We'll do one of the new ones. We'll do one of the Diesel Tip shirts. What are you looking for?
More Woodard.
Oh, something to give away.
High quality H2O.
Mm-hmm. Guys, viewers, you're a little slow with the questions today.
How many people?
We've got about 40 people on right now, which isn't bad, but
Give me anything.
I say we got to keep the
Something.
questions coming to keep the show flowing. So
For real.
if we don't have questions, we're gonna get back to work because there's people on the phone. Where's Sarge at? We got a new shop dog in.
We do.
Belgian
Yeah.
Malinois. His name is Sarge.
It's a pretty cool cat.
Yeah, he's been real skittish earlier this week. We've broke him in pretty good.
Yeah, he's acting a whole lot better.
He's a totally different dog.
Yeah.
So. We got any new parts that have come out lately? What we talked about?
Have we talked about the tuning and stuff that we've added?
I don't
The Oz
know.
tuning and
Has he,
stuff?
yeah, we got Oz tuning now. Which with them, you don't have to add like a bully dog or the edge. They can unlock it with the auto cow itself, which will save you a little money, which is pretty sweet.
On the newer Dodge trucks, the 13 to 17s is what he's talking about there.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, buddy.
And then, of course, we got motor ops, PPI, GDP still.
Yeah.
Still got GDP Easy Link, PPI Easy Link. What's the new place he keep? Is it We'll call it Roosin' Master. Is that what it's called?
Roosin' Master, yeah.
Rotomaster.
Rotomaster, that's what it
There you
is. I was thinking about a Roosin' Master pump. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The new
So we got
Yeah.
them. We'll have their turbos and all their lines coming out very soon.
Yep.
Nicholas Schultzman, we are not getting your questions, bud. So if you're asking them, we're not seeing them.
Sorry, Nick.
Sonny, he said Mexico ECM flash. That's how they're bypassing the DPF system right now, since there's no tunes available for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's like the Easy Link.
So they're not
Easy Link
running-
will delete it, but it's pretty much like a stock tune at that
Yeah.
point.
So they're running a Virgin truck down in Mexico then, with no emissions on. That's what he's saying.
Kind of like the Middle Eastern tunes.
Yeah.
Any TDI tips or tricks that y'all would recommend?
That TDIs are so out of my ballpark, and
Hey,
Wade.
Greg, it's Greg.
Greg,
Man, he's
that's
looking to
totally
get one. You
Greg.
need to call him and ask for Greg.
Yeah, Wade, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry about that, but it just I never picked up on a TDI.
But Greg's
will.
got it all
I
down.
will
He's
read.
looking to buy one, so he's been doing some research.
Wade's about the only one in here that's
Yeah.
really good on the TDIs.
Yeah.
I think he just took that as a personal challenge when people started calling and asking that he just sat down and read as much as he
I
could.
tell you what it did with Tobin having one, and when Tobin came in here talking trash, Wade had to get up on a lingo. That's exactly what happened.
That's funny. All right, bought a truck that has a single tune via EFI Live. If I don't keep with EFI Live, will a Smarty overwrite the original tune on the ECU?
No.
I don't believe that one will. I know EFI Live will overwrite EFI Live, but I don't know that a Smarty will.
Yeah,
I
you have,
thought a Smarty might. I thought a Smarty was the only one back in the day that would override other ones.
I don't think so.
like all the trucks I've ever had, you had to have them flashed. And then you could go with, but the only thing is Smarty still won't delete it.
Yeah, I wouldn't delete it, but
Yeah.
I don't know if he's trying to delete it.
About the same
With the single
circle,
tune, it
25.
probably is. With the single tune,
Yeah,
it
I'd
probably
say
is.
so.
You're right.
Racing Me, and then a few of them other people that we said that we do tuning is always a good option.
Yeah.
You would probably be cheaper off at this point just to get more EFI Live tunes would be the cheaper route to go versus buying an entire new tuner. You've already got a platform that's working. You can probably just get new tunes from whoever has it.
Especially if you've got an AutoCal or a V2 or something.
Yeah.
But did he say he bought the truck or something and already had it on it?
Bought a that's
Yeah.
it. Bought a truck with the single tune, so probably gonna have to have it flashed and have something ready to go in it immediately after you
Yeah.
flash it because it's not gonna drive very good. Does long idle on a deleted 6.7 Cummins cause damage to the engine?
I don't feel like that's an issue anymore because if it's deleted, you've taken your EGR system off. So it's not like it's sitting there and trying to go through regen and not get burnt out, trying to go through a regen when you're driving it down the road. So I don't feel like you run into that problem having the EGR off the truck. Exhaust gases aren't going back through there anymore, no carbon buildup, anything like that. So I think you'll be in the clear on that.
Yeah, because a lot of guys do that for pipelining and stuff like that. where they leave the
Pipelining,
trucks
yeah,
up, so-
construction, anything like that.
That was one of the biggest things we ran into when we first back in 07 and a half when we got the DPF trucks was farmers were the ones that were calling us in, and they were literally burning up their crops.
Farmers and
because
even with the 6 liter
Yeah.
backing down the ambulances and stuff.
Yep.
That was a big one too.
They were having a lot of issues with those. All right, 2010 doesn't say truck, but I'm assuming Dodge. 2010 keeps blowing head gaskets even with ARP studs. Block is fine. Had the head checked and redone once. Any ideas would be great.
Drive. What kind of turbo are you running? That number one thing right there because drive pressure. Drive pressure's got.
Let's give Matt a few follow-up questions that you all need. First off, Matt, we need to know what truck is it. 2010 is a Dodge Ford Chevy. Then we need to know what size turbo. Anything else you're wanting to know?
Yeah, he's
Size
definitely got a
injectors
Dodge.
and
Is
tunes.
this the question you just asked?
Yeah.
Well, we definitely know he's got a Dodge.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
that's for sure. Huh?
Why?
Because that's the only one that blows
That's
head
one of the
gasket.
head gaskets, right?
So we definitely know he's got a Dodge. He guarantees either running the EFI Live or an H&S. And but like
And
just on them, but industrial like their second gen swap kit is a nice one to put on there. I know you lose your exhaust brake, which sucks, but another nice add-on there with their like the .90 housing. Really good on the drive pressure, good spool up. Good for towing as well.
ditto.
2001 7.3. I don't know that we've ever gotten this late into a Q&A. without having a 7-3 question. This is kind of a so way to hold the streak for them there, Zach. 7-3 guys, they'll appreciate the fact that a question was asked. What is the best way to level the front end a little bit cheaply and safely?
What year is it?
01.
01. Does the Sinister kit work on that?
Sinister kit, yeah.
I think the Sinister kit, yeah. Sinister, Ready Lift. I don't know that Daystar does any, but it's just coil spacers is all it is. How far does he want to raise it? 2 inches, 3 inches?
He just said a little bit.
Little bit.
And safely. So he wouldn't have to do new shocks for that, would he?
I don't think so.
No, Sinister doesn't require new shocks.
No.
Yeah. So
Definitely check out the Sinister coil spacers, what I'd tell you to do anyways.
the small lifts, the expense is usually not in the lift. It's the supporting stuff you have to do if you have to replace, let's say, shocks or brake line or something like that. That's just a limiting factor on it. But if you don't have to do those, then you can use it. They're cheaper. 08 Dodge G56 with Valera Street Dual. I'm trying to sell a truck, and every potential buyer gets scared away by the chatter of the floater plate. They all think something is wrong with the trans. Any ideas on how to convince these people there is nothing wrong?
Well, first thing I'd probably do is, probably always can go to YouTube and find some type of video of a clutch. But second, are you running any thicker fluid in the transmission too, to try to knock a little bit of that gear rollover and stuff down?
Yeah, because, even with the dual disc, the floater plate, you've got all the noise just bouncing off a solid flywheel. So, if there is any gear rollover or anything that's adding to the floater plate when the clutch is disengaged, that there's going to create a little bit of issue too as far as more noise. But I know that would put a little bit of, for somebody who doesn't know what it is, somebody who hasn't been around it that comes to test drive the truck, they don't quite know exactly what that is. Like, hey, I've got this loud clattering in there. Is there a little guy down there banging with a hammer or what? But I see where they're coming from. And another thing, you could have them, call in. To us, Belair, whoever it's through, and they could kind of walk them through and given, what clutch that you have in the truck, and we could kind of walk them through it a little bit as well.
My guess is that you are not going to convince them of anything.
Yeah.
You're selling a truck, and they're thinking that you're crooked right out of the get-go.
Yeah.
No matter what you say.
That's another thing you got to look at too. Adam's right.
So your best bet would be probably just have them call Billy or call us. We'll talk to them.
Yeah.
So we don't have a dog in the fight. 2017 Dodge 2500, 3,900 miles on it. EFI line from GDP, full delete, shift from reverse. Shift from reverse to drive. 2 to 3 seconds humming sound. Dealer can't figure it out. Your thoughts on the Cheetah?
Is it GDP?
Yes.
I would probably holler at
Sam
on that.
Yeah, give us a call, Johnny. We'll see if we can get something figured out for you.
Thoroughbred Diesel is calling, speaking. You're live on air. Well, he didn't want to talk.
But back to his question, now, wait a minute. You said making a humming noise, but then you said something about a cheetah. Are we talking about turbo?
Let me reread that again, because I think there's a lot going on there. 2017 Dodge, 2500, 3,900 miles on it.
Yep.
EFI live from GDP, full deletes, shift from reverse to drive, 2 to 3 second humming sound, dealer can't figure it out. And he wants to know your thoughts on the Cheetah.
Okay, now we're good.
I see where, I see where the disconnect came there.
Okay.
Well, beyond on the tuning, I haven't really ran into much where we've had any kind of issues with any humming sounds.
No.
Or anything like that. But the next thing, does it do it in every tune? Is it one tune that you have it stuck on? Does it have to switch on the fly? That'd be the nice thing to know. If it does it in each tune, if we just take it off and try to start the truck back, does it still do it? And maybe that's something that if it does, we can get you a GDP on. See if we can't clean some stuff up and get you some more tunes.
Like, this is going to sound like the dumbest thing ever, too. But I don't know if it's a 4-inch exhaust or a 5-inch exhaust, but when he goes to put it in from reverse to drive, if there's a little bit of vibration there and it's hitting off like a transmission bracket or something, I don't know. I saw that before, but
yeah, check that,
Yeah.
because we've totally run into that before, and it may be something weird, just like it's jarring.
and it could sound like something that I was like, man, that's definitely in the engine, but it could totally be something small like that and be like, oh shit, I should have thought of that. But
You got to chase some weird stuff down.
Yeah.
You need to stand outside the truck and listen for stuff too, to make sure if you can't dial in exactly where it's coming from.
For sure.
So follow up on the Dodge that was blowing head gaskets with ARP studs, or was blowing heads. It's mini cab, stock turbo with H&S tune on it. You about nailed that, didn't you? You didn't have the stock turbo down, but you had.
EFI Live is going to be the best way to go.
I feel like it probably is in the tuning as far as creating a little too much drive pressure, maybe. I don't know that for a fact. I wouldn't know that without having the truck here. I kind of feel like with JT on the same page there, probably go with the EFI Live. Just bring out a little bit more clean tune, smoother anyways. Probably get away from all that.
Does the Insight have a rev limiter setting for 05 Cummins?
They can't. I don't think it can.
I was positive it didn't have
use one of these?
Yeah, go ahead. Use
this one?
over here. Yeah, just don't click off that.
I haven't seen anything like that.
I don't think it has a rev limiter setting at all. I think it's got.
You do like miles per hour.
Well, it has a defuel. It has a. No, it doesn't have. The Insight doesn't have any of that. I don't even know why I didn't think of that. It doesn't have any of that.
I'd say maybe if you get to the Pro and custom tuning, you might have something.
Yeah.
Some of the, I think the Juice of Attitude has some power derating features. I'm not remembering, but the CTS does not. Because you've actually got to have programmable capabilities with it
to take
to
the
do that. Yeah, the CTS does not have that. So you're gonna keep looking at that one or another one. I have a first-gen Dodge 1993. I recently lost my cooling fan. They don't make one for it, and I've heard people putting an electric fan on, and nobody makes one for it. Can't find one. Do you guys know one that works, or what should I do?
I totally missed what kind of truck it was. What was it?
93. Will you see if Flex-A-Lite makes one?
I think they start out at 94.
Most likely, but we'll...
Mishimoto sells some cooling fans that you can kind of build your own. But the biggest thing is when you go to the fans, you got to watch out for your gross pound weight and stuff if you're doing a lot of towing, because the fans won't keep up with the capacity of air you need.
Yeah, it starts out at 94 on the Flex.
That's the biggest thing. But Mishimoto does sell some fans. You can maybe kind of custom or fab some up, or have somebody help you and set some of that up. I know I've sold a few that if people have used here and there. On that stuff, but that'd really be the only thing I could think of, unless you go find an older truck and kind of steal some parts off it at this time.
And Universal Electric fans through Mishimoto, they run anywhere from an 8-inch fan all the way up to a 16-inch. So you've got a little bit to work there with to be able to fit your application. So you might take a look at that and try to fab something up on your own. Probably go from there with it.
All right, last question, then we'll cut her off for the day, guys. 1999.5 looking for a better tuner. I like the one I have now, which is the TS 6-position chip, but I would like something with a monitor. Or would I be better off to get gauges, or both? Your thoughts?
Hit it.
To me, the TS is still one of the more popular things we sell. Other than like Power Hunger. Power Hunger is really good. We've had a lot of customers come on lately about that. You get a few more settings than what TS is going to offer you, as well as it's got a little digital screen that's going to show you what tune it's on. But it's just one of them things. You got the Insight and everybody likes it, but the time you add all your gauges to the older trucks like the 99, you're potentially $500-$600 into it, versus you can buy gauges through Autometer is Pro for $350. So it's really just the route of money you want to look at, you're going to spend, and also what kind of style you like too. It seems still to me, I sell more Autometer is Pro stuff for the older Fords and stuff like that than I do the newer ones. Sell a lot more of the Insights and things like that.
Yeah.
Right now, they don't make a 7.3 chip per se that has a monitor on it.
Well, you can get the Attitude. The Juice with Attitude, I'm pretty sure.
You're right.
But, I just don't think
I'm talking about like the chips.
I'm sorry, yeah.
The TS chip, the Hydras, any of those that have the tuning on it that they're wanting that's a little more custom. But keep an eye out on that because Edge just released the TS6 position chip.
The revolver.
The revolver, yeah.
Which means that a monitor that works with it, if they haven't already released that,
should be coming out.
will be close behind.
Yeah.
I don't know if all the connections will be the same or not.
To work with your TS. But
it's very likely that you could slide in and that it's the same cable and that those of you that have TS could just buy a revolver-capable monitor and maybe do that.
Yeah.
Now, that's all speculation on my part, just knowing how stuff works in the industry. But that could be a possibility of something to come. But I would guarantee just about that their revolver will work with a monitor at some point into the future. So
hit us with one more. We got till 340. We got one. Have to have one good one out the door.
no, that's about it.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right, man. Fair enough. We tried.
Oh, here we go. Is a CP3 pump more reliable than a VP44?
Way to just throw the phone down.
So what you'll get on a VP44 system? Who asked that, Wade?
No.
Let's be truthful. VP44.
No, this person's a legit question.
VP44s, I mean, they're not a bad pump. It's just there's so much that goes into them. I mean, they're solely a fuel. Yeah, they're solely a fuel lubricated pump. So that means you can't not have a lift pump on the truck. You can't have a factory Carter pump, slap 100 horse injectors in it, and put an edge box on it, cruise it down the road, and everything be fine. That's just not going to happen. But VP44 is solely a fuel lubricated pump. You have to have a high volume of fuel to set PSI there. Fast, air dog, whatever you want to get into there, fine. Then you add electronics into it. If the VP44 is not getting the amount of fuel that it needs to cool itself internally, you're going to end up burning up the PSG, which is the electronic board on top of it. Inside of that board, there's solder joints that run all across that board. Once they get so hot and run through so many heat cycles, they get brittle, they crack, they break. That's when you start having issues. If there's anything that goes past the VP44, and this is with anything fuel system wise, doesn't matter VP44 or CP3, the fuel that we're running these days is absolutely awful. So you've got to have something there, again, fast or air dog, that's going to have added extra filtration to it to be able to accommodate for those things so you don't just wreck your whole fuel system. Injection pump injectors. A CP3...
make a shit ton of power off.
You can make a boatload of power with it. It's a belt-driven pump. It's a
dumb pump.
It's a dumb pump, yeah.
But it's reliable.
The VP44 is the bubble boy.
Pretty much,
when the VP44 is in its little bubble, like the bubble boy, it's happy. It doesn't get in any trouble. It doesn't catch infection and die. But as soon as it comes outside the bubble, all hell
breaks loose.
So that is the VP44. The CP3, it just doesn't have those issues.
Man, the biggest thing is fuel contamination on them. It gets them. Other than that, I mean, they're solid little pumps. But, I mean, probably nowadays you can buy a common rope and you can cheaper than a VP44.
No doubt. You know you can.
You know, think of the one we got. I mean,
yeah. And everybody's asking $20,000 for a VP truck.
Oh yeah.
I've got a good one at home.
All right, fellas, we'll wrap it up. Tell them bye. We'll hopefully be back next week. Not sure if Wade will be back in next week. My guess is he will.
Hope so.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching.
See y'all.
See ya.
See you next week.